Is Oklahoma's Jonathan Horton now the top gymnast for Team USA? I'm Deputy Sports Editor Mike Kaler. Joining me today to tell us all the news of what's happening with the Olympics and specifically with John Horton is columnist Jenny Carlson. Jenny, tell us what the news is today and how that affects John.
Well, it affects John a lot. The news today is that Paul Hamm, the defending Olympic all-around champion, is not going to the Olympic Games. He had injured his hand at the U.S. Championships earlier this summer, had surgery, was held out, petitioned to make the team, and USA Gymnastics gave him a spot on the team. They had a camp last week, and he did really well. Everybody says that they saw the old Paul Hamm again, essentially. But in this week after the camp, he went back to train and work out and tweaked a shoulder and decided that he just wasn't up to par and announced today that he's not going to Beijing and is not going to be competing in the Olympics. It's a huge blow to Team USA. He's a great talent, and they will definitely be missing him in the Olympics.
Well, we've written a lot about John Horton, obviously, NCAA champion for OU. You talked to him today. What does that do to his status? Does he become the number one guy for the Americans?
Yeah, I think he does become the number one guy. Is he the best guy on every individual event? No. He is the best all-around gymnast on Team USA now. Paul Hamm would have had that spot, would have been going in as potentially a gold medal contender in the all-around. Maybe not the favorite. China's got a great all-arounder that will probably be the favorite going in. But Paul Hamm would have been considered right up there too as a defending gold medalist in that all-around. But yeah, John Horton now becomes the best all-arounder for the Americans. And what this does for him is puts him in the anchor position on a lot of these events. When they go into team preliminaries, which is August 9th, he's going to be that last guy up on a lot of these events. And typically that's where you see your biggest scores. That's where you see guys having their biggest impact in a lot of ways. So John now becomes a very central focus for this team. Unexpectedly so. They leave tomorrow for processing and then actually fly out to Beijing on Wednesday. Just really unexpected news coming this close to the Olympics getting started.
Well, just because Horton's number one doesn't necessarily mean good news for the American team. What's the USA's chances? Obviously, China has been gearing to these games for a long time, has kind of the machine built in where they get these kids from the womb and teach them gymnastics. Right. What are their chances overall as a team versus China?
Well, I think China is definitely the team to beat. John, even last week, they had a media day down at Oklahoma where he's been training. And he said if China hits, if all the Chinese gymnasts hit, this is their competition to win. Nobody can compete with them. Their start values are that high. Their technical skills are that high. They will win the gold medal. But if there are any mess-ups, any bobbles along the way, it opens the door for several other countries to possibly ascend to that gold medal spot. Team USA would have been in a lot better position with Paul Hamm. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of people believe that this USA team is better than the team that went to World Championships last summer. That's a team that finished fourth. And that's also a team that had some falls and had some missteps that, had they not had those problems, might have podiumed at the World Championships last summer. This is a better team now than it was then. So they still think that they can podium and, potentially give the Chinese a run for their money. It's hard to know how being in Beijing is going to affect the Chinese. It could mean that they have the meat of their lives, but it could also mean there's a lot of pressure to perform on Chinese soil. So Team USA not dead in their medal hopes, but you can't lose one of the best gymnasts in the world and not have your chances take somewhat of a hit.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's Paul Hamm's impact on Oklahoma and impact on John Horton. The games, as we said, begin August 8th. Men's gymnastics begins August 9th. Be sure to follow all the coverage of the games on newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman. Thanks.